Hello, good morning. Uh, let's see. We're just going to create a branch today and make some fixes. Let's see. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's create a branch. And we had this layout update, which is pretty awesome. So you can like put your files. Oh my god, I'm using the magic thing. So you can put your files like wherever you want now, which is pretty cool. But it also introduced a little bit of regression, which those kinds of changes do. So what we want to do is first I'd like to have the preview in a new tab, and then let's see, let's identify what we need to fix first. Oh, coffee. I'd like to sign in as well. Let's see. So the thing is, the first thing we're going to look at is, you can see I actually have the README file active now, but it isn't shown as active. And that's because we're seeing the preview version of the file. But as soon as I go into the actual file, we can see that it's activated. And it shouldn't matter if you're looking at the preview version or the other version. But I see now, actually, if I click it after the fact, it's actually selected. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I thought it was generally when you clicked preview versions of files. So it's only on the initial render? What about if I have package.json as the initial render? Does it select that? Yeah, it does. And for some reason, it actually removed the README. Like the README is considered like an initial file. And I think we have some logic that doesn't take into account if you actually have persisted. We could fix that as well. Because I would expect, yeah, so if I have package.json here, I refresh, maybe we could fix that first, because now I actually have persistence. So now we should show what I wanted to see. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to fix that first. And I know we have this thing called use layout. I know we have a thing called utils create initial state. And this is where it evaluates what it should do. And then if there's no persistence, that's when we want to add the README. But it looks like, let's see, why does it hide the README? And this is only with no persistence, but I do have, yeah, this is interesting. Does it do anything? Oh, I have to look into this some more. I'm not sure why it doesn't show it. Let's see. Oh, I don't need to look here, but I wanted to look in the state. Let's see. So we have layout. The way it looks now is that we have two items here. We have the package.json file, and we also have the README. And that should also be in local storage. Oh my god. Let's look at it. So we have file README. So everything's there. So when I refresh now, what actually happens is that we pass in the persisted layout. So let's take a look at that. And what the hell happens to it? Yeah, I'm quite fascinated by this. Let's see. let's just log out what we... I want to know if we actually have the persisted layout when we try to create the initial state. And I think we should be able to refresh now and see it. Oh. No, I don't trust this. We should refresh. Or open it again and refresh. Let's see. Oh, now it even showed the readme. That's weird. Okay, let me choose. Now we have this. And when I refresh now. Yeah, now it probably... Oh, is it Oh, so it's not the readme. It's actually... Is it because it's the... Tab panels. Come on. What's happening here? There we go. Tabs. Okay, so we have it here. It seems like... Oh, it's because of the setup tool. Oh, that's the thing. But that's... Okay, that's interesting. So when we haven't finished the setup... That's interesting. I wonder why... Yeah, but anyways, I don't think that should matter. We should still use the persisted. So DevTools, tabbed panels. Oh, sorry. Create new layout, editor panel. So this is a... yeah, no, we should check here if we have the persisted layout. So I'm going to move this up here. And then we're going to say create new layout takes the editor panels, the DevTool panel. Okay, I didn't implement this, and I'm a little bit like we're in this mixed phase now where we still have an opinion about what we have, like an editor part and we have a DevTool part, but you can still mix and match everything. So what's happening here is that we're creating a tab panel, a new tab panel with the initial file tab. That's why we're seeing only that one. But I don't quite understand. I think this should be different. We should rather find the last tab panel, and then we should add the setup tool there. Yeah, let's fix this. So instead of doing like these panels, we're just going to use... Okay, so we'll keep this and no... Okay, let's see. So if we want to show and we have no persistence, then we do this. If we still want to show the dev tool, we're going to do something else. We're just going to shove the create setup panel. Yeah, does that? No, we're just going to shove the tab, setup tab. We're going to shove that into the last panel. So that would mean tabbed panels. Yeah, how do we choose the last one? Tab panel, object. And we can actually mutate this, because it actually is the, wait a minute. Oh, persisted tab panels. Oh, is it? Yeah, that might be null. Okay. I don't think. I don't quite like this. Because here we have to, fucking typing. Like the way it reads is bad. That's the problem with these kind of checks for TypeScript, is that it doesn't evaluate that these two are actually true now. But they are. I think we're going to do, oops, just for typing, for typing's sake, we're not going to have this. We're going to, and no, how are you going to write this? Or, yeah, so show setup dev setup dev tool, and we don't have a panel group, or we don't have any tab panels. And then if we do have persisted tab panels, and we're going to do this check again. So this is interesting, persisted. Yeah, it's a bit weird because we've separated these two things. So root panel group is really the description of the panels, and then we have the actual panels. But you can't have panels without the root panel group. I'm not sure why those are different. Like, it makes sense conceptually, but for typing it's not ideal. Anyways, so when we're in this situation, we really just want to return. Yeah, what do we want to do here? Yeah, we actually don't want to return. We just want to add this to the existing, like the last. I guess we can pop it. Last panel, tab panel. Like, and this can be undefined, but it shouldn't be like this. Ah, god damn it. If we did persist something, we just want to add the setup to the last panel and make it the current selection. So the current active tab. So I guess there is a chance here that we actually don't have this. Like, you can actually have a persisted layout without any panels. So these are true, but they don't actually have anything in them. So this is actually true, that this can be undefined. So we'll have to do another check. You might have a completely empty persisted layout. But if we have the last tab panel, we are going to, question is like, where do we put it? Maybe we should put it at the end, setup tab, and we're going to say last tab panel, active tab ID is the setup tab ID. Okay, so now this will become false in this situation, so it'll skip this and then it will run the normal logic. It's a little bit weird We should maybe put this as an else. If we did persist something, we just want to add the setup. And want to show the setup dev tool. Okay, let's see what happens now. So what should happen now is that I have these two open. Oh yeah, we also have to check, like it might already be open. You know what? I'm going to, like, this is about UX. So if I have if I chose to not, yeah, wait a minute, we just should never do this. So the point is, the requirement for us showing you the setup dev tool is when we don't have any persistence. That's my opinion. We'll see what, so we can keep this no persistence. I don't like opposite has persistence. I can just do this. Has persistence if show setup dev tool and not has persistence. That's okay. And then if not has persistence, yes, this is how we want to, oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, did it actually work? Equal to no, not equal to no. Oh, interesting. So it is actually able to infer these checks. Okay. Anyways. So the thing is, like, we had some iterations with the layout and we decided to do as little magic as possible. And currently, yeah, we did some magic. One thing is if I go in here now and I delete this and I refresh, now it should produce like just the initial layout with the setup dev tool. And this was my active file, so it chose that file. If I didn't have an active file, it would choose to read me, which is perfectly fine. But now that I've decided that I don't care about the setup here, and I refresh, we shouldn't show that again, because I decided to close it. But I can still access, I think. Oh, you can't, oh, for fuck's sake. You can't access it again. I didn't know that. Okay, so we actually do need that extra check. So, and not has persistence, we show it. If not, else if show dev tool, show setup dev tool. Okay, I thought it was like a dev tool in and of itself, but then I think, like, we want to push the user to finish their setup, so let's do that, but we'll do it the way I did it. So the thing is, we have to figure out if you have it already. Has setup dev tool is showing setup dev tool would be persisted tab panels, object values. Well, we can do let's do this first, and then we'll do find. This is panel.tabs, find tab.type equals project setup. Project setup tab, existing project setup tab. If no existing project setup tab, we want to push that. Let's panels and panels.length. What we'll do is that we will go in to panels tabs and we'll push project setup. We'll push that into the thingy. Last panel. Last panel. Because I personally was confused by it not persisting this. You could argue I should finish setup dev tool, but for some reason I don't. And I think it's less like it's very implicit that we don't persist your layout if you haven't finished the setup thing. If you have persisted, but we still want to show the setup dev tool, we add it to the last available tab. The problem is that you might not have dev tools tabs panel. Create them. How do we push that into an array of what? Is that an array? Ah, this is so complicated, because you might also be in a situation where you don't have any panels, and then we also want to show it. Else if okay, so what we're going to do, no, because if we don't have it, we also need to push it. God damn it, this is no panels length. We'll have to comment this because this is difficult to understand. Else if we don't have any panels length, we want to add a new panel. How do we do that? How do we actually do that? Empty. I guess we want to do that. And then we'll have to say ID equals new panel. And then with a new panel, tabs, push, project setup tab. Okay. So if existing project setup tab, we are not going to, we want to kind of, what do we want to break out of this. I'm trying to write avoid nested code here. So it's basically, if we already have it, we kind of want to skip. We want to break out of this if, but we can't really do that. So we kind of have to, okay, let's just do it like this. Active tab ideas, project setup tab. Okay, so if you have persisted, but we still want to ensure showing the setup dev tool, we add it to the last available tab, or create a tab if none exists. We are not showing the dev tool, but we have a tab to add it to. Okay, and we have to add this again. If no, we have no existing, we are not showing the dev tool, but and need to create a new panel for it. Okay, so let's test this, all the scenarios. Okay, so now it's, what we're going to do now is I'm going to remove everything here. So we have absolutely no panels. I'm refreshing. We want the setup to show as the first, like we add a panel. Oh no. Fuck. The fucking neighbor is hammering, waking up. Oh, this is going to be a shitty day. He was late for his nap and now they're fucking hammering. Fuck. Our kid is sleeping outside and someone's working and woke up. God damn it. And it didn't really help that this didn't work. Oh, well, now it worked because I removed the persistence. But the thing is now we have persistence, but we haven't. So we show the initial, that's correct. But now we have persistence and we refresh and now it should only show. Well, I guess it should also show the README because that's the default file we show. No, that's also weird because I had persistence and I said I didn't want to show it. Why did it add? It should only show this initial thing if you don't have persistence. What? This doesn't make sense. So I'm saying now okay, and then I refresh and it should only, why does it show the README? It shouldn't show that. I've decided that this is my view. Why does it show the README? Did I have it in my... I didn't have it in my URL either. What the fudge? I'm confused. I'm very confused. Oh, come on. Oh. Once more. Close everything. Refresh. My persisted layout is there. We have, oh, tab panels is null. And root panel group is null. Oh, okay. I think that's the problem. This isn't. So what happens if I remove my persistence? Then everything is null, right? I think we're checking if we have persistence or not by those explicit properties, but it shouldn't be that. Oh, that's interesting. So we don't actually know if we have chosen to not have any panels as persistence. But shouldn't this have been... Wait a minute. This doesn't make sense. How can persisted layout be anything? Oops. Initial state or... Oh, I think it creates the layout. Oh, I wouldn't expect that. So it creates a default. Yeah. So it creates a default layout, even if you don't have any persistence. Okay, so then we can't actually verify. We cannot verify if we have... So this doesn't mean no persistence. Yeah, this doesn't mean... Because you can choose to not have any panels and persist that. But that looks the same as not having this persisted at all. But I don't want to spend... Like, I've already spent way too much time on this. So what we can do is... oh, hopefully I fell asleep again. We can change the variable here because this isn't the correct name. Has persisted panels. Or has panels. Now I'm really like, this is the right term. Not has panels persisted. Okay, cool. So we're going to ignore that scenario. So if you don't have any panels persisted and want to show the dev tool, we are going to just give you the default view as if it was the first time. And then if you don't have any panels persisted, we go in and we I don't like this. I would really, it's still magic. I would rather want to fix this. Why is this null? Couldn't it be just... Oh, what the hell happened there? Oh, I think I actually accidentally asked or edit the AI assistant. So tab panel shouldn't be null. It should rather be, how does this state actually work? So if I close this and I close this, layout, because I think I still have those, right? Yeah, so I still have tab panels. How does it persist this? Update layout. So this is the sync, but why does it become null? Is this something that happens here? So root panel group, is this what we are actually persisting? Root panel group is the layout structure and tab panels, and we have that. Like, even though it's empty, we have a layout structure and we also have tab panels. It's just an empty object. So why doesn't it persist that? Okay, so we're going to, and yeah, let's look at, is this actually what's stored as well? Yeah, tab panels is empty object. So something happens when we load the persisted layout. Get persisted layout is here. Is valid. Log flatten for console. What is this? Get storage persistence. Validate persisted layout. Here we go. Okay. And tab panels. Yeah, this one. This one, I don't agree with this one. You have persisted that you don't want any panels. So that's what we're gonna show you. And I guess maybe root panel group is actually there, but since the other one is null. Oh, did I do it again? Yeah, I'm asking that. Goddamn. Dun, dun. Yeah, great. So now it was empty because that's how I persisted it. So that's good, but it didn't show the use layout, utils, initial state. So what I did now is that I show setup dev tool. So why did it do that? That's the question now. We still want to show the dev tool, but for some reason it did not do that. What does the state look like? Maybe I did something wrong. There's no panels. Oh, I didn't push the panel. Oh, I didn't know I had to push the panel. Didn't I do that? Oh, okay. Uh, push new panel. No, what did I do wrong? How do I create? Oh. How do I actually create the panel? Hmm. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, and these names are a bit weird. Create empty tab panel. I'm thinking that's the panel, but it's not the panel, it's the tabs. So it's create empty panel tabs. I would expect it to be named. But how do I just create a panel? Create new layout. Yeah, this is the thing. I guess this is what we want. Create new layout, sorry. That's what we want to do. So and we can just return create new layout. God damn it, this is so complicated. So we want return create editor. So we don't want any editor tab panels. We just want our project setup tab in. Tab. Oh, we need new tab panel. Okay. New tab panel. Tabs. Dot push project setup tab. New tab panel. Active tab ID is the project setup tab ID. And then this is the new tab panel. Okay, this is what I think we want. So again, I have nothing persistent, but I open it up and now I want like the dev tool group to have the setup, and it doesn't. Fuck. Why didn't that work? No panels. I have my tab panels there, but I don't have like how does this thing work? I don't understand how it works. Cause create new layout, that's something we can return. Oh, we even have create setup panel. Yeah, I don't understand why it doesn't do that. I think we need to take a look at what the persisted thing says. Maybe it still says that one of them is null. So the validator maybe removes something. Wow, we were supposed to actually fix something that's rather important. But this tab panels, root panel group. No, so we have both of them now. But still, it doesn't show this setup tool. So this was annoying. Show setup dev tool has panels persisted. True. So we should hit this one, show setup dev tool. We have our persisted tab panels. Persisted tab panels. And it's there. Do I have a mess? Oh, maybe I messed up the state. That can happen. Okay, so let's reset and just see what happens. So I say I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, there it worked. I just had some messed up state. Okay, great. So, and if I go in here and open something. Okay, great. So if I say I don't want anything, we'll still ask you to finish your setup. Bit weird that it pops up here maybe. But that's fine. So if I have two files open, I have my setup, I refresh, I should still have my two files there. And we add the setup to the last. Yeah, okay, so I changed my mind. And let's just add it to the first one here. We add it to the first panel to be more consistent when we add it. Yeah, because it's kind of a weird state to be in. So if I close everything here now, it should pop up as like the first panel. Oh, that's also weird. Why did I go into this? I spent all this time just messing with something that doesn't really matter. God damn it. At least I learned something about how this actually works. Story of my life. Yeah, as I said, we're in this intermediate state where we kind of kept the editor and DevTools panel as kind of a default setup. but it doesn't really make sense when you have decided how your setup is going to look like. So we don't actually want this create new layout. We just want you to have, so layout direction, how is that used? Opposite layout direction? Why? Why do we flip it? Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, so we have the root. Okay, so we just want, okay. We're just going to create a new panel group in this case. And this is going to be, oh yeah, of course, because we have like the default root panel, and then this one needs to be the opposite. Well, I guess we want to look at persisted root panel group, because we have that direction. Then we want it to be the opposite of that one. And we don't want to use, here we just want to, do we have like create CUID or something? New CUID. And panels here. That would be this, yes, now it's coming together. What? Oh yeah, sorry, panel type, setup panel.id, I think. Because now we kind of broken out of the default thing. That's why I'm messing around with this. So with our persisted root panel group now, we're going to say panels push panel group. And then we're going to say persisted tab panels, panel group.id. Wait, sorry, this is going to be setup panel. That's how I think we should do it. So if I close everything now, we don't have any panels, so we create a new panel that just stretches over the whole thing. Fuck. Let's just reset. This is fine. I'm closing this. I've said that I don't want any panels, so any addition now will be full screen, which is fine, but it doesn't happen. Why doesn't it happen? Why does it have two panels? Why does it have editor and we already had? I am very confused. Because we have a root panel group. let's say panels. So we actually had a panel group. Oh, of course, because I'm mutating it now. That's why it looks like this. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't create a new layout. That's the problem. Let me delete the state. Let's refresh. And we close this. I'm saying I don't want any of this. Yay. And that's better as well, right? It's up in your face. And then if we do this and I put my setup over here and I refresh, it should look exactly the same. The point is, when you have loaded up your layout, that's how it's going to look the next time you look at it, except if you, for example, close this one now, it will just add the setup as the last item. And if I have nothing, it will still add it there. This is good. Cool. Let's make that. This wasn't very good. So simplify. Not simplify, but make logic for showing setup data more less magic and add comments. Are we happy with the comments? We are not showing that I need to create a new panel for it. Yeah, I think this is good. I know we have an issue with what did I do? Oh. My bad. Yeah, and now it used it came up with something else. That was kind of annoying. We're testing this. Yeah, and it also seems to be looking at the last thing I did as opposed to looking at the diffs again. Can I like copy this? Do we have the fix setup dev tool persistence? Okay, cool. Maybe we'll have some time to fix the thing I actually wanted to fix. The thing I wanted to fix is if I have the README open. Well, I guess we should finish the setup here. Yeah, yarn dev. Does this actually do something? Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like we actually forked out now, branched out, and we created the tasks.json file. And this is fine. Now we have that, so the setup shouldn't happen anymore. But we have this README selected now. And if I refresh, I don't think it's actually shown as the active file. Oh, it is. Oh, maybe it's this. Oh, of course, it's the setup dev tool. Like this is the tricky thing. It's like, is it? Or is it more if, I wonder if it's us showing the, yeah, I'm not actually sure. Whoa, what happened here? Eek, what the hell is this? That was weird. Yeah, because we do have... Yeah, I just have seen that it doesn't actually change the active file. But it does do that. Yeah. But we do have something else to fix, and that's when you... So when I do... So this has been fixed now, so that it properly opens folders. What I have noticed though, and we need to be in a bigger repo, I wanted to scroll down. So if I open up like a lot of stuff here, let's open some source components, and I'm like in hooks here. Let's remove this, and I open, for example, blocking loader, and I'm up here, and when I click blocking loader, I want it to actually move down to it, because if I change between them, it does ensure. So if I scroll up, I change them, it does scroll. But sometimes you have like manually scrolled, and then you want to find the file you're at. So clicking it again should also cause that scroll to happen. And I know this is... no, this is in File Explorer. What I can't remember is if I don't think we actually update the active file if it's the same path. So that might actually just be it. We could take a look at that as well. Let's close the others. Use active file. So what happens here is that whenever we subscribe to, we actually use the URL as the persistence for the active file. And yeah, so the thing is, if we're on the same path, we don't want it to update, because we also, as part of that path is also the selection. But it's really the selection that we want to avoid firing off a new set state. So what we kind of want to do here is and this is all this complicated stuff is because we're using an XJS router. Well, or we have to use it, which is not really built for our use case. It has caused so many challenges for us because we need performance, and the router of Next.js is like, if you just change a query param, it does a full render of the entire app. So it just triggers way too much reconciliation. And it's async, so whenever we change a query param, which we do very often, it can get into race conditions, so we have to have a queued query concept, and then we have to subscribe. Because of that, we have to subscribe to queries when they change, because you don't know if it's changed when you change it. It's queued. Like it has caused a lot of complicated stuff for us. But how are we going to fix this? Because now when we do update, it means we would actually have to keep a reference to I think we can use a local reference here. Because the point is that as long as it's the same path, we are currently not updating the state so this effect doesn't run again. So what would happen is that when we actually change the path, we keep a reference to the last selection. And if the selection changes, we do nothing. But if it's the same path and the same selection, then we actually trigger another set state, because it means like you reselected the file in its current state, and that means like we reactivated the file, and that should trigger like a change. I think that makes sense. So we can try that. Like, it's so complicated. So last selection ref, well, I guess it's nothing. Last selection ref equals active file. Okay, so we need to split the thing every time it changes. Oh, so we're just going to say path here. What just happened? Oh. Yeah, we still don't know if we have an active file. Now we have to change this. So if we have state, okay, so first let's go and set. So when we set the state, we set the last selection ref. If state, and why does it say that this can be undefined? We just checked it here. Oh, we didn't. Oh, come on. For fuck's sake, this is so complicated. It's just insane. It's like, we talked about this so many times, like using React to build a rich web application for the business. One thing is the UI, but for the actual logic that runs the whole thing, all the state management, the asynchronous complexity, the complex flows of interaction, it's so difficult to express. And you get into all of these checks, right? Because you have this state reference, like the component just renders and renders, and the hook just renders and renders and renders or reconciles. And then you have this state reference that might be new, but then you also have this direct subscription. And then you have to dispose of the subscription every time the state becomes new. It's like, it's insanely difficult to manage and express in a good way. And then you have like one component does a dispatch up to some hook part of a, like, or something, a reducer in a context somewhere. And suddenly that triggers a new render in a completely different part of the tree, which does a use effect related to that and triggers something else. And it's like, it's so not line by line. Like, it's by definition reactive. And yeah, it's so difficult to manage. But let's see if we can fix this. So if no active file, we want to set state and define. Why do you still oh, sorry. We'll return. And then we're going to say last selection ref is the selection. But so what we're going to do first is, well, first we can do this. remove from this. No updates. If no state and active file, what do we do then? How can both of them be undefined? How can state be undefined? Okay, if we, of course, if we, yeah, so state is the actual active file, of course. Yeah, so this, yeah, these are the same things. This is coming from the URL. This is our current state reference. So if we remove the active file in the URL and it's already undefined, which is kind of weird, but type-wise it can happen. We don't do anything. I don't think it's a perf update, but we could have no selection and now we get a selection. Does that really matter? I think the thing we want is if no active file and we have state, that's when we want to do this. That's when we actually want to remove it. Because now we always have active file, right? No, it can still be undefined. How can it still be undefined? What? That doesn't make any sense. How can it still be undefined? Is there another condition here? This doesn't make sense. This should be... this should be defined now. Because this says if you don't have state and you don't have active file, you return. If you don't have active file and you have state. So here we say if you don't have active file and you don't have state, if you don't have active file and you have state, and that means active file. Okay, if no active file, if state, set state undefined, return. Now we have active file. Yes, okay. So if you don't have an active file, but we do have state, yeah, I think that's okay. And then we can go and do this. We can do the last selection ref, but we can first check. But state can still be undefined here, right? Yeah. So now we have another thing. So if, god damn it. So if we have state and that path starts with the path. So if it's the same path, well, it's not starts with, it's equal to. So if it's the same path and the selection equals last selection ref, then we do nothing. If that's not the case, we'll update the last selection ref and we'll update the state regardless. Okay. When no active file in URL, we remove it from state and return. Only when no, sorry, not equal. This should be not equal. So yes, So when the path is the same, but the selection what the hell do I mean here? So if the path is the same, and the selection is not, then we don't care. When working with, when there is only a selection update, we avoid setting the active file again for optimization purposes, because we don't like every time you change the selection, which happens very often, we don't want to re-render everything that points to the active file, but we want to do it if we have the same selection, because that means that you're kind of refocusing your current state. And this is what I mean, like if you have imperative logic, like anywhere where you set the active file, you just go in, okay, File Explorer, go and scroll to this file, do this, set the query in the URL. But with this reactive paradigm, you're kind of saying, oh, go and change the URL, because that's like top down. That's where the state comes from. And then we have to subscribe to that. And then we need this internal state. And then we have to check the selection and do all of this shit. And it makes me frustrated. Makes me frustrated. And for anyone using this, like just setting the active file, they have absolutely no idea about the repercussions of doing that, as opposed to setting the file, just going into that method and see it line by line saying what it's doing when we're setting the active file. Yeah, I'm really like, when we built version 2 of CodeSandbox, we came from like Overmind, which was like a single state store, gave a lot of insight, discovery by just dotting into the tree, but it also had imperative actions, so you could very easily understand whenever you do something, you see line by line what happens. But there were problems with that, so to solve those problems, we jumped to the completely other side and completely embraced React. But now, and we did fix some things, but we also met this problem. Like the logic is so decoupled that it's so hard to reason about. So we need to fix that. When there is only a selection update, we avoid setting the active file again for optimization purposes. We update the current file even if it is the same path when the selection is the same. This causes a refocus to the active file, ensuring that things like the Explorer will scroll to the file again, etc. Okay. So at least we still have updates to the URL. And like nothing, let's do this. So we'll do this, nothing really happens. But if I do this, fuck, it didn't work. God damn it. It might be that we're actually looking at the path in that scroll effect. And we shouldn't do that. We should just look at the active file. But let's see if we're actually setting the state. What the hell is this? Yes, we're not setting the state here. We're not setting the state here, but oh yeah. And then we get into loop. Thanks for that. God damn it. So this was my struggle just implementing this stuff. It's like so easily get into a loop. Because what happens here is that what actually happened now? I jumped to selection 1.1. We came in here, the subscription changed. It did not hit this. We have an active file. It split it. It checked, is the path equal? It's not. So it jumped down here. It set the selection. It set the path. And then changed the state. It got back in here. Oh, and now the last selection ref is wrong, of course. So this can't be here. Oh, God damn it. I can't believe this. This is also things I don't like. Things I don't like about React. The thing, like what occurred to me with like Solid.js, it didn't hit me the first time I read about it. But the thing about Solid.js is that the component logic runs once. So you can imagine like a React component is like having multiple dimensions. So you can imagine every time like it reconciles, it can create an alternate universe of itself. And it's based on like references. So you might have one use effect that is running again, but the other use effect does not. So you have like these overlapping universes. But with Solid.js, that never happens. You only have one thing. Like the logic you write, you can write variables like what you saw here. Like it was really hard for me to reason about when that variable was actually, which universe did it belong to, right? Oh, what did I do? No. Yeah, and that's really appealing about Solid. Actually, very appealing. I don't care about the performance. Like React is performant enough. It's perfectly fine. What the fuck? Did we get into loop again? This was very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But it's the same. Why is it looping? Oops. Why is it looping? It's the same. The path is the same. Oh, wait. I'm thinking about it the wrong way again. Oh, wait. No, I'm thinking about this the wrong way. So, yeah, we only want to do it once. That's the thing. That's also the thing. When you want to do something once in React, you can't really do that. You can't have an initial value. You have to kind of hack it with useState. I want to do this thing once. I'm trying to do that, but I can't because it's reactive to existing state. And if that state is the same, you don't know if it's the initial change or if it's like 100 changes down. Arrgh. And this won't work. I have to go, but this won't work. So freaking annoying. So annoying. How would I say? Like, the thing is, I just want on the click to update the active file, but I can't because I have to update the source state. And that is the same, right? I can't like react to a click when you react, like your logic is driven by state. Hvor skal du? Okay, I have to go. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about this. It's almost like we have to count. Oh, that doesn't matter. Like, because you can like, yeah, this we can't do this. Like, it doesn't work. Because it's like I only have this state. I no idea when you clicked. And what did it? Like, it's almost like when I set the state here, or yeah, when I actually set it here, this is where I have to like say that I have to, here I have to use a ref to say that, oh, by the way, I'm setting it now. So if it's the same, you should actually update the state, and then it needs to change that ref back. So it's more like should potentially update active file with the same file. And that's what I mean by decoupled again. Like, it's so, okay, I'll write that down. Have to, in the setter, create a ref that says that we should evaluate setting the same file again. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Okay, I have to go. You know, I've done a lot of good things with React, but I've always built rich web applications, and I only now realize why having external state stores with external handling of logic has really been, I've been depending on it, but I always done it, so I didn't realize how dependent I was on it until I stopped using it. Yeah, it's interesting. Anyways, but yeah, we're talking a lot about this internally, and maybe we'll show some ideas on how to do this. But yeah, anyways, bye for now.